What's happening, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Total Blast, where we discuss about everything Marvel in the MCU. A Marvel vs. DC crossover appears to be entirely possible and may be in the works at Marvel Studios, according to a report from sources close to the studio. The idea of a shared cinematic world featuring Marvel and DC superheroes will be nothing short of a mind-blowing moment for lovers of the superhero genre. And this may happen sooner rather than later, as Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has discussed a prospective film collaboration between Marvel and DC. Although the two comic book titans have frequently worked together in print, they are yet to do so in live-action film. But the Marvel/DC crossover, as earlier proposed by James Gunn, seem to be getting closer to reality. In other news, actor Bruhl, who plays Baron Zemo, explains why he's missing from the cast of the Thunderbolt film. Guys, we'll be giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 on this channel to one lucky subscriber. More on how to win at the end of this video. And if this is your first time, please subscribe and enable the post notification so you don't miss out on subsequent videos. This whole speculation started when James Gunn was initially asked by a fan who was curious as to which movie between the Guardian of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad would triumph over the other. Gunn answered, the fans, saying that they would. Later, a different fan explicitly questioned Gunn about the likelihood of a successful Marvel/DC crossover. Those crossovers had already occurred 4 times in the comic book for Marvel and DC. The first time involved Superman and Spider-Man in the appropriate title, Superman vs. The Amazing Spider-Man, which was jointly published by Marvel Comics and DC Comics in March of 1976. The second crossover took place for Marvel Treasuring Edition number 28 in 1980. The more well-known crossover between the two competing comic book publishers, however, were DC vs. Marvel and JLA/Avengers, which was jointly released by both companies in 1996 and 2003. The lifting of Thor's hammer by Wonder Woman and Darkseid's attempt to use the Infinity Gauntlet are two legendary examples of crossover moments. Also, the appointment of James Gunn as the head of DC Studios may be the icing on the cake for a high-profile Marvel/DC crossover, one of pop culture's holy grail. The comic book industry was thrown for a loop when it was unexpectedly revealed that James Gunn would serve as co-lead for DC Films and Television Division, now known as DC Studios. Warner Bros. Had been struggling with a string of dubious choices before the disclosure, including delaying the finished Batgirl and advancing The Flash despite star Ezra Miller's overly disturbing behavior. For the DC Universe, Gunn's appointment as the division's chief with producer Peter Safran feels like a return to normalcy. Amongst its other effects, it increases the likelihood that a Marvel/DC crossover project will materialize. One of the exclusive groups of behind-the-scenes filmmakers who enjoy success in both DC and Marvel Cinematic Universe is Gunn. He also expressed his active interest in seeing a crossover happen. That dream project is suddenly tantalizing possible thanks to this newly discovered position. It's also no news that DC's troubles, notably in the film industry, is caused by parts and ways their superheroes are cast whatever Warner Brothers pleases. This is no news, as Ray Fisher of the Justice League franchise was open about it. And unlike Warner Bros., Kevin Feige has Marvel regards his character as worthy of respect. The distinction is self-evident. While the DCU has stumbled through a very mixed bag to find the same tone, the MCU is currently the biggest franchise in the world and shows no sign of slowing down. For instance, even though Black Adam opened to half of the Batman's box office receipts, Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson recently praised the new DC movie as phase 1 of the new era for DC. Gunn's new position threw a viable indication that things may be shifting. The Guardians of the Galaxy movie for the MCU and DC's own The Suicide Squad are a successful example that the director has unquestionable credentials in the comic book industry. Both films have alleged undeveloped characters that Gunn turned into blockbuster success, mostly because he loves them so much. With his new role, DC finally has the Kevin Feige figure that it's been looking for. Someone with mogul-level business acumen and a lifelong affinity for the franchise. Unsurprisingly, Gunn respects Marvel in the same way. There's a ton of Marvel vs. DC content to draw from as pop culture crossovers are common, and they are much simpler with comparative inexperienced media like comics. Crossovers between DC and Marvel have a long history, beginning with Superman vs. The Amazing Spider-Man, the 4-issue limited series of DC vs. Marvel in 1996, which inspired a series of Amalgam Universe comics featuring imaginative mashups of numerous characters from both sides of the coin, was probably the best. However, before now, it seemed impossible for two films or television shows with identical theme to cross over. Warner Bros. And Disney, Two competing collaborator Goliath hold the two properties. They yet have little interest in promoting the rivalry. Although, not with superhero characters, there is a precedent on that level. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? A 1998 film featured several interactions between Disney and Warner Bros. Cartoon characters, most notably a duel between Daffy Duck and Donald Duck on the piano. The movie was a huge hit and later became a classic. Superheroes are currently at the forefront of mainstream culture who have precedent of doing something familiar. Additionally, a crossover feels more logical for both Marvel and DC, who are aggressively investigating the idea of a universe. And now that Gunn is involved, there is a creative force that can make it happen. Gunn, has a working history with the MCU dating back to Guardians of the Galaxy movie, is knowledgeable about the properties, and frequently shown that he understands the characters. Additionally, he expressed excitement about the possibility and said all parties are amenable to it. It may be simpler to close a deal now that is not long ago because Warner Bros. Is anxious to imitate its rival's success on the big screen. Regardless, major things are happening thanks to Gunn's new position. One of them might be the unattainable idea of a DC/Marvel crossover. Additionally, Gunn has collaborated closely with Kevin Feige to create wonderful movies at Marvel Studios, including the incredible Guardians of the Galaxy saga. Well, this is ideal as it makes it easier to go over all the legalities. Moving on to the Thunderbolts film, actor Dan Bruhl explains why he's missing from the cast of the Thunderbolts film. This year at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios laid the groundwork for a truly new team-up film that will wrap up Phase 5 of the MCU, with the Thunderbolts hitting theaters in 2024. Then, at D23, a spectacular cast for the film was revealed, but Daniel Brühl's Hermel Zemo, a once classic MCU character that many were anticipating, is not amongst them. Zemo was last seen in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier being transported back to the raft as a prisoner, but given that Val, played by Julian Louis-Defreux, made an appearance in that series, it was anticipated that he would play a significant role in the Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, Bruhl's name was omitted from the Marvel's presentation of the official film. However, Bruhl was questioned directly about his enigmatic absence from the cast list. The actor was unable to provide many details. MCU actor Daniel Bruhl was questioned by Radio Times about Baron Hermel Zemo's absence from the Thunderbolt. He confessed that he wasn't authorized to say anything on the subject, but was then asked if he could explain. Even if I could, I couldn't, you know? But he made it clear to fans that he's not dead, suggesting that there's a real possibility that he would eventually come back for Thunderbolt. Will Zemo survive the Thunderbolt? Zemo tore the Avengers apart in his MCU debut, and since then he has established himself as a force to be reckoned with his first appearance in Captain America Civil War. Since then, his only proven talent is getting under people's skin, which was demonstrated even more clearly during his time in the second half of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. He appears to be an ideal addition to the Thunderbolts given his ability and character, especially in light of his relationship with John Walker and Bucky Barnes, who have already been named to the team. His strategic thinking will undoubtedly be useful if he wasn't physically fighting alongside the team. Fortunately, there's still time for Marvel to include Zemo should the company feel that would be a good match for the film, which is already expected to be an important part of the multiverse saga. On the 26th of July of 2024, the Thunderbolt will make his theatrical debut. And back to our giveaway, we'll be giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 on this channel to one lucky subscriber. And all you have to do to win is watch our videos, subscribe, turn on post notification, like, and comment. And one lucky subscriber will be chosen from the comment section to win our brand new PlayStation 5. Also, we want to say thank you to everyone who has supported us this far. We truly appreciate it. What are your thoughts on this video? Would you like to see a DC/Marvel crossover? How would you like to see Thor go up against Black Adam? Iron Man go up against Cyborg? And would you love to see the inclusion of Zemo in the upcoming Thunderbolt film? Please, don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest Marvel news. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one.